I'm going to go out on a limb to say I think we might have a new king of power paddles, the 6-0 Black Opal. I'm serious when I say this thing might actually dethrone the Boomstik in terms of pure power. I haven't run serve speed tests yet or hit them side by side, but I'm hitting absolute rockets with this paddle. And the best part? 6-0 is officially back. For a while, 6-0 felt like they'd stepped back a bit. Their lineup was good, totally playable, but nothing new, while the rest of the market was pushing into Gen 3 tech and foam cores. But now, after a long stretch of quietly working behind the scenes, they're returning with a bang. The Black Opal is one of 3 new paddles from 6-0, but to me, it's the flagship. It's the one that feels like the "we're back" statement piece. And just real quick, this paddle was provided to me for review, but no review was promised, and 6-0 doesn't get any say in my thoughts here. And also an important disclaimer before we get into the details. The paddle that I've been testing, the one I have here, might not be the final production version. 6-0 has mentioned some potential tweaks like changing how the edge foam is packed and reinforcing the neck, but I'm not sure if this is before or after the version that I was sent. Those changes could affect the feel and other things slightly, but I wanted to be sure to still make a video for you all, so keep that in mind as you watch this. So let's start with the numbers. The Black Opal has a static weight of 8.26 ounces, a swing weight of 116.4, and a twist weight of 6.3. It's a hybrid shape and has a 14mm foam core, which they are calling their new G4 core, and it's priced at $250, but that comes down to $225 when you use the code PickleballBlast. It's got a loud, in-your-face sound when hitting the ball, and I actually want to show you a few clips with different paddles so you can hear the difference. And this new paddle features a bunch of new tech that 6-0 has been working on to help make the Black Opal stand out, so let's talk about a few of those. First, we have the Diamond Tough Grit. 6-0 says this surface actually includes real industrial diamond dust, I guess, embedded into the face, and the goal here is a more durable grit that lasts longer and maintains spin over time. We've seen similar offerings from some other companies like Infinigrit from Selkirk, and this is 6-0's take on that. Now, an important note, my Ruby Pro, which has the same diamond grit, was insanely gritty, like sandpaper. My Black Opal, though, feels much smoother, more like a standard paddle surface. I've asked 6-0 about this and I haven't heard back, so I'm not sure if it's intentional or a production variance or what the deal is, but it's worth noting. Another piece of tech is their power gel. This is a proprietary gel layer that sits, I believe, between the core and the face. It's designed to boost pop and power, and while I can't test the gel itself, the results kind of speak for themselves. This is easily one of the hardest hitting paddles that I've used, and while that could be attributed to various things, I'd imagine the power gel is definitely having an impact here. And finally, what they call the shock shield, which is silicone injected into the handle for vibration reduction. It's subtle, but it adds to that dense, controlled feel. Altogether, these tech updates plus the new G4 foam core and their new lightweight carbon frame come together to make up the Black Opal. But perhaps most importantly, let's talk about how this paddle plays on the court, starting with power. And we'll start here because it's the headline feature in my opinion. I'd put the Black Opal right up there with the Boomstik, possibly even above it. It's got that deep, dense power that doesn't feel hollow or overly stiff like some other 14mm paddles. There's more dwell and a heavier, almost thicker pop to the ball coming off the face. Moving on to control, and this one's a bit trickier. When I'm set up and in control of the rally, working dinks, setting up drops, mid-court resets that I can anticipate, I feel really confident with this paddle. But when I'm reacting quickly, like in fast hand battles where I'm trying to reset, or other scenarios where I'm reacting quickly under pressure, and especially trying to hit a slower shot, I struggled with consistency. It's not unplayable, but it does take some time to dial in, as I often found myself not placing the ball where I intended in those scenarios. So I'd say this is a paddle that rewards time spent learning it. If you're willing to adjust, it can definitely deliver. And finally, the spin generation felt great. Even though the face felt much smoother than my Ruby Pro, I was still able to shape the ball very well, get strong topspin on drives, and great dip on my third shots. Dwell time also feels impressive, especially considering it's a 14mm core. So to summarize, so far this thing has top tier power, might be the hardest hitting paddle on the market out there right now, or it's at least in the conversation in my opinion. It has solid spin and ball shaping ability, but it requires an adjustment period for most people, I'd assume. If you're somebody who thrives on offense and loves taking control of points with power, then this paddle is going to feel incredible, especially once you adapt to it. But before we wrap up, I want to talk about something else that's important, a little bit away from the Black Opal, and that is 6 Zero's new affiliate requirements for reviewers. And I'm bringing this up because I believe in transparency, and I think it's something the community should know because it definitely might affect the reviews you see or don't see and the codes that you're able to use. As of very recently, they're now requiring creators to make a dedicated 10-minute video on each product in order to keep their affiliate codes active. And while I understand the reasoning, they want creators actively supporting current and new products, I don't necessarily agree with the implementation. First off, while we do drive product awareness, we also drive brand awareness. There are definitely scenarios where a customer, let's say, finds this Black Opal review, checks out 6 Zero, but ultimately decides the Ruby Pro is a better fit for them. My code would only work for them if I had also done a review on the Ruby Pro. This not only complicates things for the customer base, but ignores the brand awareness that reviewers bring to the table, which is overall disappointing considering there are many brands who owe a lot of success to the reviewer community. Second, creating a review like this takes dozens of hours between playtesting, scripting, filming, editing, probably 30 hours minimum, and often a lot more. And not every reviewer's format fits a 10-minute structure. You can look at my library of content. I don't have a single 10-minute review of a single paddle. It's not what I enjoy making, and it's not what my audience expects. It also lumps together something like, say, a 10-minute discussion within a podcast setup with a 10-minute dedicated and scripted video, which are two entirely different types of videos with entirely different scopes of the work involved to create them. It feels like an arbitrary number to me that doesn't really take into consideration the full content scope being created. And I understand that they don't want to reward low effort content, and also that paying out commissions is probably no small sum, especially with a new launch. But remember, that's a good problem to have, and ultimately, this kind of policy, I think, risks discouraging creators from covering their products, which in the end I think hurts everyone involved, including 6 Zero, and I know myself and many other creators have expressed similar opinions. That said, I still love a lot of what 6 Zero is doing. They've made some of my absolute favorite paddles ever. In fact, my very first paddle, real paddle at least, was a 6 Zero Double Black Diamond, and I'm genuinely excited about the Black Opal. I just hope they continue listening to the reviewer community that has been alongside them as they've grown. So to wrap things up, if you want a paddle that delivers massive power, solid spin, and a different feel from a lot of what's out there, the 6 Zero Black Opal is definitely worth checking out. It's not the easiest paddle to pick up and play, but you'll notice the power right away, and if you're able to adjust to it, I think you'll be very happy. You can use the code PickleballBlast to save 10% if you want to try this out for yourself. And let me know in the comments what you think about all these new 6 Zero releases and the new tech that they're introducing. Now, I'm hoping I'm at the 10-minute mark, but if not, I'll be playing some gameplay footage for you to watch until I hit that. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the court.